What was that sound?
Falling over.
What?
Jonathan, have you seen it now?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Hello, everybody. If you are with us and you can hear us, we thank you so much for joining us.
Falling over.
What? She fell out of her
Jonathan,
chair.
have you seen it now?
Yeah. So we just premiered episodes 4 through 6. Oh, we can be seen. If you are with us and you can hear us.
I think somebody's playing it live in the background of their video.
Hang on. I think I just
mute.
Yeah, I muted it. Can you guys, is that better? Uh-oh. Hang on. Can you
We are
guys hear me?
experiencing technical difficulties.
You guys can hear me? Uh-oh. No? Oh, you're nodding your head yes. Does that mean you can hear me? Yes. Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, if you are joining us and you can see us and hear us, welcome to our live stream. We have some of the cast here with me. So obviously I'm Michelle. I'm the writer and director. We have Beth with us, who played Brooke. We have Emma, who joined us as Taylor this time, one of Mandy's friends. We have, of course, Mandy, who's Maggie McKenzie. Then you see Jonathan, who Justin Johnson Garner, or Garner Johnson, other way, and Bjorn. And people are starting to say hello. Maggie, you got a comment on your hairstyle. Jonathan only gets to be with us for a short time and then he has to return to work. He's on his lunch break. So if anybody wants to ask Jonathan a specific question, please go for it while he's still with us. If you guys, can you all see the questions that have already popped up in the chat? Feel free to take a peek at it. If you see something you want to comment on, please go for it.
The chat on YouTube.
Yes, either YouTube, yeah, the live stream here. There's been a few questions that have come over from people who just watched the 3 episodes. Or if you saw.
What do you think, Bjorn? Are we gonna beat up Andy or?
Oh, I think Beth has a very strong opinion on that.
Violence is never the answer.
Right.
Sure, from you guys, I think. No, I think Brooke has to come full circle on this evolution without the help of her friends, but I'm sure they'll have some strong words to say.
Sure. Yeah. And you know, you're the one taking kickboxing lessons. Kickboxing? Yeah. So
I do
maybe,
that too.
yeah, you can beat him up. You don't need our help.
Yeah, no. I think, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that scene, I think, plays out, though, for sure. And Andy taking his turn in the light karma he'll have coming his way.
Taking kickboxing. So glad I got to hear that. I played back again. That was
You're welcome.
one of my finest moments.
It's documented forever now on the internet. So.
Yeah, kickboxing. It's my favorite sport.
Tip of the tongue, the teeth and the lips.
You can tell I didn't warm up. I know, you can tell.
Everybody just beware, the person who's talking, unmute, and everybody else make sure you mute as we go. But of course, unmute if you want to talk.
Yep, Bjorn.
Sorry, I'm trying to toggle back and forth and it's not going well.
I just want to say I agree. I also love Maggie's hair today. I am really appreciating the rockabilly.
Thank you.
Hang on, I was just trying to check a message. I just saw my 2 best friends in the world, Melissa and Heather, are here with us. Thank you guys so much for watching and for joining. Sorry, I was trying to take care of a couple of weird messages that popped up there. I don't know if you guys could see those. So
that
there's
was from me. That wasn't, you just ignored them? Wow.
sorry. Well, unless you intend to do some online stripping without clothing, then
Been there, done that, over it.
that was last week.
That's right.
That was last week. Will Justin meet up with his mother? That's an interesting question, Jonathan.
Well, I'm not writing these. I have to answer this? Yeah.
Should he meet his mother?
I think he's intrigued. It seems like he's intrigued. Yeah. I don't know what she has to offer him at this point that, I think he's already achieved his closure in that regard, but it seemed to me that when he saw her again, and then started looking around to see if his dad was going to be there, there was like a moment of sort of picking at that wound and, triggering what would most likely be, some post-trauma from, growing up with a father like that. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to look into it. We'll see.
Agreed with everything he just said. There's a lot there. So we'll see. I actually rather like the way the scene turned out, but we'll explore that when we get to film again. And the hope is that we will get to film again, hopefully this year. For those of you joining us and wanting to type in your questions, please do while they're here live with us. We're going to be starting an Indiegogo campaign here soon to help us finish funding so that we can film episodes 7 through 9, which is where we will explore what was left over, including Michael's story, Brooke's story, and Justin's story with his mom, and possibly the other adult figure from his life. So, since we're waiting for questions, you guys just want to talk about filming, like if there was something about it that was different or that you enjoyed that.
It was all different this time. There's this little thing called COVID-19 going on in the world. Made it really nice and convenient to film and be really close and intimate with a scene partner. Really loved it.
Ditto.
How about you, Emma? Coming from Canada.
Yes, it was definitely a really cool experience for me. I don't have a lot of film experience, but my favorite thing was that just the cast and the crew, the bond that we created, and it's just really cool to be a part of, and it's helped me connect with people who may not have connected with me otherwise up here, who they hear, oh, you're in this, okay, so can I talk to you about this? I'm like, yes, of course. Being in such a conservative area, it's really nice to be able to have that, to be an open door for people.
Maggie, Mandy was a lot more grown up this time. How was it for you filming some of those scenes that kind of got a little more intense for you?
I enjoyed it. It pushed me, but I enjoyed stretching farther than I had before. So.
I'm toggling back and forth, you guys, sorry. And Jonathan, Justin wasn't quite as physically present, but he was definitely present throughout the entire film. How was that filming experience for you?
Oh, well, I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to really hone in on my phone acting. I feel like that was the area where I hadn't yet developed as a performer, how to act as a voice on the phone. So that was really fun. And yeah, I don't know. I think, filming those nightmare sequences with, Bjorn and Maggie, that was really interesting because, you get to like step out of your actual character and sort of inhabit this like fragment of Michael's, psyche that is torturing himself and all of that. So interesting. Very, very new experience for me to be a fragment.
Yeah, but very present. I think everybody who has seen it thus far, that's one thing they've said is even though he wasn't there, it was clear he was there, which is great. And filming the one sequence where Michael was in the bedroom and Jonathan was on the phone, Justin was on the phone. Jonathan was in my garage and sitting in my garage against a wall, filming that sequence, which I always thought was hilarious. Can you guys see these last questions that are coming through here? I was just trying to read.
Jonathan was on script for that scene, so.
Uh-oh. He can't give away all his acting secrets.
That's the only way I'll say the line as written is if I'm holding the script in front of me.
Precisely.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Jonathan only has a few more minutes with us. If you are here and you wanted to ask something specific of him, he's here on his lunch break and has to head back to work in a few minutes. Feel free to chime in. And Jonathan, I'll kind of let you, if you can see these questions. Can you talk about filming that scene with Gina, Jonathan?
Yeah, in the bookstore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was kind of a trip seeing Gina again. I haven't seen her since like the premiere of the film series, I think. So that was really interesting. And yeah, it really brought up a lot of things that I had begun processing emotionally when I initially played Justin. So it was interesting to feel those emotions getting called back when we did that scene together. The first scene we've done together since the feature film. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was really interesting for me. And I only have a couple minutes before I do have to go. And I actually, before I leave, would love to hear the answer to a question that I saw earlier. I think it's a question for Maggie. Will Mandy ever gain a crush on someone in future episodes?
I mean, I think that'd be fun to see. So
I know I had actually typed a scene where Mandy did have a crush. And it was kind of, it went back and forth because it was just very much a very young crush. But watching Michael and Justin come into the awareness that they have a child who has a crush on somebody. So that it was a fun scene to write because one of them was completely obtuse to what was happening. And the other one caught on very quickly, and Papa Bear came out very quickly, like, who is it? And, does he pass my test? That type of thing.
Oh yeah, I can just see Michael, polishing his shotgun in the dining room when Mandy brings over her first date.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, she's nearing high school age now, freshman in high school or beyond. So it will be fun. Any thoughts? Or Maggie, I guess what you just said is heck yeah. Is that what you said?
Sure. Yeah.
And beyond that, we haven't explored it too much or come back to it, but hopefully we will.
Obviously, me and C would have to like wing woman you in this experience.
Yeah.
C was the other young woman who played Mandy's third friend in the episodes. They couldn't be with us today, but C played Riley. Jonathan, I was trying to see if there was anything specific questions for you.
Oh, I just wanted to say on that note, congratulations to all three of you. Clearly the breakout stars of the new More Than Only series. Your scenes were so funny and so entertaining. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And thank you all. And I'm sorry that I have to leave early, but it's just been lovely seeing all of you and hearing from everybody on the stream. So yeah, thanks. And we'll see you later.
Hey, Jonathan. Till next time.
Later, dude.
All right. There's some more questions that have popped up here. You guys want to take a peek over there and see if you see anything you want to. So I guess Maggie, you and I will have to have a conversation about crushes and what that means.
Sounds good.
Or
I look
maybe-
forward to it.
Yeah. Let's see. I would like to see, what was I reading? Other titles in which you have worked. Oh, but Escaping Freedom. Oh, somebody has seen a lot of Jonathan's shows. So a good question, Javier, but sorry, we missed that one. And I am not familiar with his other work. The DVD with the film and the first chapters are labeled as region 1 only. Oh, and Javier, your question there. I know we only have region 1. How can I become a US citizen? I know that there are players that you can make adaptions, I guess, to DVD players. I've had to do so when I buy from Britain. Anyway, anything else that you guys can see there? Yes, Brad, they are adorable together. I love the kit for Mandy. I'm gonna do if I have kids in the future. I wasn't sure. Will there be more episodes? Yes. I'm currently writing episodes 7 through 9. Our hope is to film again this year and hopefully be able to post again by early next year. Just working on a process like this. It does take time, especially because we're kind of we are a low budget film. So the professionals who work on the films, do so not completely focused on just our project and completing it, because they need to earn a living wage. If we get to do a Christmas special, we'll try to have that out by Christmas. But it just depends on funding. So we are working on putting together an Indiegogo page and to help us with funding. And lots of things will be on there, including props from the feature film, from the short film series. And we had more than only the original feature film written into a book, like some had requested. So that will be available, as well as other digital uploads. Emily, I was trying to read your comment here and I wasn't sure. I'm going to do that if I have kids in the future. What kit were you?
She was talking about the Mandy's Moment box.
Oh, okay, that's funny. Please do, because I think it was hilarious to watch them film.
Your kid might hate you for a couple days. But.
How did that make you guys feel when we were filming that scene? What was your reaction to it, Emma and Maggie?
I mean, I loved it. It was hilarious, but I might die if my parents actually did that.
I completely disagree. I think if my parents had done that for me, how could they be better parents? He doesn't want a box full of supplies and chocolate. You're so prepared. I was not prepared.
Better than Halloween, I think.
That's funny. Asked a good Heather Kirkpatrick question earlier, and it hasn't been answered. What did Heather ask?
She was asking Bjorn how it was to film his scenes.
Oh,
The heavier emotional ones.
Bjorn, you got the floor if you want it.
Yeah. Well, to quote Beth, it's always a bummer when Bjorn has a depressing scene on and he's on the set, because I bring down the energy of everyone. They were definitely difficult, but not in a good or bad way. just required maybe more focus. And I always think it's easier to stay in those moments rather than jump out of that emotion and join in whatever the rest of the cast is doing. So definitely difficult.
Yeah, these 3 episodes, I think, had him doing kind of the stuff that Jonathan has done for the feature and the first 3. So getting to see Bjorn really flex that acting muscle was a lot of fun. Because he just did an amazing job. We were so proud. Is it that I saw over here?
Yeah, I actually wish we would have filmed the first scene that we filmed. I won't give it away, I guess, but I can tell it was the first day.
Oh no, okay.
Compared to the other high intensity scenes were later on in the shoot. But if no one can tell, it don't matter.
Right. Is that just because you felt like as we went, you became a little more comfortable with it, or?
Yeah, I was able to breathe into the scene a little bit more in the other ones, and really release those emotions.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I think Jonathan counted down the number of days he had to cry on set during the feature. And I remember him saying, the last scene, the last crying scene, the last high emotion scene, that was it. And now Bjorn was put into that, where almost every day on set was very emotional.
Yeah, but all the dream sequence type intensity, I'll do that all the time. That was really cool. I wish Darren was here to speak on the idea of how we shot it that way and things, but
yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, the dream sequences were pretty intense. It was a lot of fun. Somebody had made a comment about the medical team being back. And again, almost everybody in that scene were my coworkers from the hospital where I was at for almost 16 years. So in the room were nurses, a respiratory therapist, a phlebotomist, true medical professionals side by side with Bjorn playing Michael and the gentleman who played Brian. His name was Paul. And then, of course, the young girl who was playing the victim, and other actors and actresses. But yeah, it was a blast. Uh-oh. Did you see the last question? There's a few things here at the bottom if you guys keep reading those questions. Beth, was it getting into character for Brooke, being an advocate for noticing a bad relationship?
Yes, I saw that one. I wasn't sure if we were going to talk on someone had asked about the friends that came to cheer up Michael, behest by Justin.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I forgot I saw that. Just quick on so you hopefully recognize Mark. Somebody wrote Sire Tobin is back. So that was Mark Tobin. And of course, the other gentleman at the table was Todd in the feature films. He was frequently there playing games with them in the dorm room. Those 2 gentlemen were back from the feature film. And then the new addition, the gentleman, his character's name is Gabe. He was a new character. The man who had played the other friend originally wasn't able to come back to Oregon. He left Oregon during the pandemic. So he's closer to the East Coast now, and just getting him back wasn't going to work. He played Ben. So we decided to create a new character, and a man by the name of Pearson joined us, and he was fantastic. So I built that story that Gabe had met Justin in college when he went back to school after recovering from his incident in the feature film. And that's kind of how he wound up meeting Justin, and then became friends with all of the above. So yeah, having them all back, that scene was a lot of fun to film. Bjorn, what did you think? That was your first game sequence, actually. Or game like that. You played the one headband game. But.
Yeah. Are we talking about the game scene scene in itself, or the characters that came to cheer me up?
Potentially both. It's like just being able to be with them again, and and then the introduction of a new character, I guess.
Yeah, it was a little interesting. It was great to have the old characters back, and it definitely made it a little more complex adding the new character in, and then throwing a card game in with it was very intricate.
Yeah. Sequences like
That's
that.
a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Jonathan was not upset that he didn't have to be part of another card game sequence, and gave Bjorn a little advice before we filmed it as to what he discovered.
Yes, he did. And I think never mind.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I almost talked about something that we had just previously talked about.
Oh, gotcha.
So
really quick, Joey, you asked what happened to the ghost orchid. The ghost orchid is actually very much on set. In fact, you could see it in Michael and Justin's bedroom back on the wall. You'd have to just be super observant of it, but it's now in a shadow box with the other things from the 3 tasks. So they're all together now, but the real ghost orchid is the one that's in there, because I kept it from the feature. But it's getting older, so had to kind of tape it back together and hold it together in different ways now. So it is in a shadow box. I'll see if maybe I can find a picture of it, but I'm not sure if I can. Beth, did you want to look at that one question that was asked for you?
Yeah. Sorry, Bjorn, did you see my text that just came through?
just saw it. Just pinged.
Is it?
What?
Knew it. I was like, he's drinking out of a merch mug. That's funny. Anyway.
And where can we get all this merch, Beth?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Bjorn. Well, if you go to our website, which actually was just revamped last week, if you haven't checked it out, you should. There's a shop page, so you can get the DVDs of all the episodes are now available, including the ones from today. The last 3, the feature. We still have the stickers and posters, signed posters from everything we've done so far. And a new poster was created for this series too, that just went out today. So yeah, check all that out. All right, end of shameless plug. So let's see. I'm rereading your question, Emily. How was I getting into character? Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a unique experience. I haven't played a character before who's really had to deal with that. And it was kind of bizarre because there were definitely 2 different sides of Brooke throughout these episodes. And we were just talking about this actually before we got online. Watching some of my scenes back and remembering how I felt about them in the moment was so strange, because Brooke is always usually this really hard-hitting, kind of sassy character that we all know. And several of those scenes, especially when Andy's around, like even her vocal change is like rather pronounced. She's not usually talking in even this register I'm in right now, which is like her natural one that's kind of lower and, just more frank. It like gets a little higher and a little mousier. And anytime she's kind of dressed in that fashion too, that was more, I think Justin referred to it as Stepford Wives in that first episode, was just completely different and bizarre, even though I've said that like 9 times now. And just the scenes specifically too, at Brooke's house when Andy pulls her back into her bedroom was probably, I feel like, the toughest scene I filmed, aside from her argument with Justin, because that one was just emotional overall, but the one she had with Andy kind of had this, I've been referring to it as roller coaster of emotions. And when we filmed it, because we film every scene, upwards of sometimes 10 times, because you have to film it from so many different angles, at least twice, to get two good coverages of it. And she's kind of in her normal pleasing demeanor initially with Andy. And then she has that moment of realization, even though it's for like a split second, with like how Andy's treating her. And just the roller coaster of starting the scene that way and then her coming back down to that. And then we're done with the shot and then we have to start it all over again. And so you have to be like, all right, that didn't just happen. Let's do it again, and kind of like get on that, that coaster. But it was great to explore, and it was great to have, I think, a moment like that for Brooke, because it's something that's not explored enough, I think, in general media. Like, we talk about it, but we also don't. So, no, it was awesome. And I'm really excited to see what kind of positive resolution we see in that situation in the next 3 episodes.
Well answered. Nice job. Let's see. Bjorn, some kudos for your performance in those 3 episodes. There's a comment. Is Brian going to try to get between Michael and Justin? The short answer is yes. And if we get to film episodes 7 through 9, you get to take that journey with us. But yeah, he's a sneaky little thing. Emma said, Brian mentioned that he would come running to his spouse. Technically, Emma, he said significant other.
I noticed that after I pressed enter, I was like, oh boy.
No worries. There's a reason he specifically said significant other and not spouse. Because it was a word choice, very much on my part, because if he's trying to come between 2 people, if he only sees them as significant others to one another rather than husbands, that is why he said significant other. But how did it make you feel, Michael, that Justin was so far away and not able to come back and didn't come running to your side?
Made me feel alienated. Actually, it helped. Just in real life, Jonathan wasn't there with Bjorn, so Justin not being there with Michael actually just helped with all that. Yeah, definitely weird.
That's true, because you filmed a lot without Jonathan on set, which you usually have had him on set most days.
Yes, yeah, he's always been there, almost like my rock, but way different this time.
And it's ironic, Bjorn, because I'm pretty sure if he was still with us, he would say the exact same thing about you and his performance and having you there for him.
Is your character hurt that he didn't come back to be with you and try to help the situation?
No, I don't think Michael was hurt by that. I think Michael is such a strong, independent person his whole life that comes from like maybe a medical background type thing, where he's always had to take care of himself. I don't think he thought about that part at all, except for maybe like when he heard his voice, then he might be overcome with emotion and be like, oh, maybe I do need him, type of thing.
Good answers. I enjoy hearing what you guys have to say because it helps me to further it too. Thank you for making all of these possible from EL in Finland. Thank you for staying up with us. I'm not sure what time it is in Finland, but bless you for being with us. I did see a question from somebody that asked about other time zones around the world. And it's so tricky. We actually adapted this premiere to be at noon, trying to supplement for other time zones that are way ahead of us. But I can't ask my cast to be up at 6 a.m. For
Maybe we should do midnight, then Jonathan won't be at work.
and he won't be at work. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to hit them all, but thankfully everything's on YouTube. So you guys can watch on YouTube as many times as you want now. It's out there and it's available and will stay so as we continue to grow and change. Joey, I'm glad you love the new characters. I had a lot of fun adding them in. Javier, I agree. We need to talk seriously with Andy, and hopefully, Brooke will find the words. Did Mandy and Brooke go to see 50 Shades or The Lion King?
It was The Lion King, sadly.
I think it was a front to go see 50 Shades of Grey. I think they went out and then they sold their tickets for Lion
Got it.
King to make some money to go see 50 Shades.
That's a better answer. Yeah.
Illegal soliciting, those two.
Nice. Nice. I like it. Brad said, I have that coffee mug. Are you referring to the one that Michael was drinking out of? Possibly.
I think he is.
Did you just call Bjorn Michael? That's the real question.
Oh, was he talking about, are you holding a mug right now, Michael? Or John?
Brad.
Who are
Brad
you?
is talking about this mug.
2 for 2.
Hang on, I didn't see it. Oh, that, okay. I'm getting bad at toggling back and forth between all the screens that I have to be watching at the same time.
Are we just characters to you, Michelle?
Yes, sometimes.
That's what we've become.
Sorry, Bjorn, you have no identity to me any longer. You are
Bjorn, only pawn in Game of Life.
Aww. That's what you are to me, yes. Where can people donate to help fund for the next episodes? Good question, Heather. Actually, right now, if you go to our website, there's donate buttons on our website. People support us through Patreon, which is a monthly support system you can do, and people can sign up for as little as $5, I believe, a month. And then there's different tiers and you get different things. I have some people who donate to us through PayPal, which again, if you go to our website, you can find information about how to do that. I've had a few people who are very uncomfortable with donating electronically and preferred to send checks, so you can actually do that. And then very soon we'll be launching this Indiegogo campaign, specifically helping us to pay for filming episodes 7 through 9. I don't think a lot of people realize that just the 3 episodes that we just aired cost about $35,000. Which just filming costs 15 to 20, and just post-production is 15 to 20 to produce the quality that we do between editing, color, sound, scoring, then sound mastering, and all those levels. And there's just so much to it, that it's not an inexpensive venture to do high quality work. And thankfully, though, I have a lot of people who are willing to work well below industry standards to do the work for us. But it's just time consuming. So, and it is expensive. So when we start the campaigns, don't be surprised by the numbers that you see. But I've always been a true believer that, if a lot of people donate a little, it adds up very quickly. And, like we did with the last 3, as soon as I got the first 15,000 in the bank, we started talking about setting up to film. And by the time we had finished filming, we were well on our way to paying for post-production. Reading. What was going through your mind when writing Michael's struggle this time around? Oh, hey, Joel. What was going through my mind when writing Michael's struggle? The majority of people, I believe, who are familiar with More Than Only are also familiar with the fact that I am a registered nurse. And I've been in those codes. I have been in pediatric codes, and we do tend to relive those codes, especially the pediatric codes, because in your mind, you constantly think, did we do everything we could have done? Was there anything else that we could have done? it's a very difficult thing that we witness and relive sometimes over and over and over again. So kind of putting that into those scenes is where I was coming from and where my mind was. And I specifically needed Michael to be in a situation that it would then eventually evolve into being Mandy in the bed, and that Justin and Brooke were there mourning the loss of Mandy. And yeah, it was intense to write. It was intense to film. The medical scenes, the main code scene, the first dream, and the two that followed. I think we spent 2 full days, so almost 24 hours filming those scenes. I guess Bjorn, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Sorry, I was reading the message.
The questions? No worries. I was rambling. You just do what you're doing.
What scenes? Medical scenes?
Yeah. I think specifically they were asking about what was going through my mind when writing Michael's struggle this time around. So I guess it starts with the medical stuff, but I think possibly talking in terms of he's a character. I think you might have already talked about this. He's a character that's typically the strong one, that's typically the supportive one, that's typically the caregiver. And this time he was in need of caregiving.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's doctors make the worst patients. You know, he's not a doctor, but, you know, he plays one on TV, right?
Yes.
I think it's that type of thing. He's always the independent person. And he doesn't know that he's in so much pain. He's in so deep. He needs to back out of the situation and be able to see it clearly.
Yeah. And somebody had asked, was Michael okay by the end? And
are they going to force him to rest? So yeah, I'll be resting the next 3 episodes. But don't worry, I'll be on set in coma, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna put you in bed and just keep filming you sleeping. Yes, he will, like we all do. You know, with time, you know, we just face the facts of the career that we've chosen and try to rest in the knowledge that we did do everything we could. But life is fragile, and sometimes we're reminded of that very frankly, and in ways that are not easy to digest. But of course he will work through it because, you know, he has Justin and he has his family and they'll be there for him. There's definitely some struggles still coming though, because he, you know, he's clearly going to start working on that with a counselor. But now Justin's mom has made a reappearance. And so Justin is kind of going to have his struggle going and Michael's going to have his struggle going, which I think is going to open Mandy wide open for having teenage struggles and angst when you have 2 parents who are also having struggles and angst. So sometimes the whole family kind of implodes. And of course, Brooke and her Andy situation is going to be a thing. I saw something. I think Maggie is growing as a very good actress. Mandy had some great scenes with specifically Michael this time. Much more scenes, but just some beautiful moments with Mandy for sure. Maggie. I think we had said before, and I don't think I can share screen here, but Maggie and Emma have actually known each other since they were quite little. They were in my children's theater together at a very young age. I don't know, 9. They were in Madeline together, where Emma played Madeline and Maggie played Clementine. They were so cute. So they've known each other for a long time. But Emma, you may or not know if you're joining us and not familiar with Emma. She lives in Canada. She used to live here in Oregon. But when I asked her if she would consider coming down and being in our film, she flew to Oregon and was here for most of filming. I think the last 3 weeks of filming. But anyway, so it's just thrilling to have Emma on board and willing to come down. Maggie did such an amazing job. Oops, it jumped on me. Wait. Oh, she only lets us out of our cages when we have enough money to film. What? The fame's going to Michelle's head. She's now only sees her cast as character. Okay, I totally missed that. Thank you for wow. Okay, joking, obviously. Free the more than only cast. The things I'm missing while answering other questions. Beth.
You'll see I had nothing to do with that.
You were just behaving and being quiet in the background.
He left his responses off of the internet. So, only the NSA can see those.
He's reading the questions, nothing else. What is that?
It's sarcastic.
Okay. Beth. Oh, Michelle refers to all of us by our names and characters on set. It's quite ironic that the four of us minus Bjorn have names that start with the first letter of their names, which is true. It makes it very confusing. Jonathan, Justin, Beth, Brooke, Maggie, Mandy. None of that intentional.
We clearly need to recast Michael. I'm not sure what happens there.
Or you just need to change your name. It seems like the easier solution.
You look like a Matthew.
Like a Matthew.
Like Matthew Perry?
Oh.
Ooh. No, but I love him.
Joey asked, will Justin's published books be created for us to read? I know this is a huge question. I'd read a Justin Garner Johnson book. So Joey and Emily, More Than Only, the original feature film, has been written into a book based on the film. And actually, ironically that you should ask, it will be available on the Indiegogo campaign as one of the levels. And then after the Indiegogo campaign has successfully funded, I'm going to believe 100% that we will successfully fund and hopefully start making plans to film Jonathan and Beth Forgive Me this coming summer and possibly early fall. So we'll see timing wise. I know they don't like filming certain times of the year because it gets very hot.
I've requested that we film somewhere where we must wear parkas. Like, can we just go to Alaska? That'd be great.
You can come visit me in Canada.
Yes.
See, the family needs to travel to Canada.
We can film this summer if we go to Canada.
Well, it's hot in my area in the summer in Canada, so I don't know if that'll help.
We'll go somewhere else. I'm putting this as a contingency in my contract. Done.
But after the Indiegogo campaign, we will put the book on our merchandise page that people can continue to buy it because it's an ebook, so you can get it instantly when you purchase, or if you do the Indiegogo campaign as soon as it closes. Let's see. Episodes have brought me so many emotions. John, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if you guys can see John's comment there. Feel free to respond to him. I was trying to think, and if anybody has anything they can add, just like specific moments from filming or something. Don't film in Florida. Oh, because it's too hot. I can't breathe in Florida, Brad. I've only been there a couple of times and I walk outside and I feel like I need to cut through the air to walk.
I've been to Florida once. I was walking out of the airport. I got like onto the taxi curb and I was like, nope, went right back into the airport. It was just hard no.
Yeah, it's like when you feel like you have to cut through the air so you can walk through it. You're welcome. Thank you, John. It does mean a lot to us, a great deal. Any questions from anybody else? You guys have been asking great questions and we truly, truly appreciate it. We're probably going to be wrapping up in about 10 minutes. So if anybody has anything else that they want to ask anybody here or future plans, Oh, I was going to say out loud and before I forget, if you haven't been on our website, there are links to our Instagram page. There's links to our Facebook page. If you go to those and like us and follow us, you will then get notifications, because one of the greatest tools of social media is the way that the word spreads of things. And so when we do launch our Indiegogo campaign, spreading the word to your friends and bringing them to our site, the lowest donation level, I think, in the Indiegogo page is $10. But if enough people donated $10, we'd be filming within a few months, right? So it does not take a lot, a few people giving a lot. It takes a larger group of people giving a little and making stuff like this happen. So be sure to go to our social media pages and like us and follow us and stay in tune with us. We'll be posting when things are coming. Finland is a nice place to film.
Second that. It's on my visit list anyway. Let's do it.
I third that.
Road trip.
Motion passed.
I don't think you can road trip to Finland, Beth.
No, but we can road trip to Florida and then fly the rest of the way.
I was like, you're from where? I thought that said WW2, and I was like, what does that even mean? Wisconsin. Bjorn is from the state of cheese. Emily said film in Wisconsin. Oh, look at that. So Emily, you now know. Brad said, you used to live in Seattle and then you moved to Florida. Oh, Brad, I think we have talked more about when you lived here in Portland and then going to Florida to be closer to your support system. Thank you for joining us. It means a great deal. Joey, thank you for sharing our information and passing it along and getting people to come and join us. It means everything to us. Our feature film went over 3 million views in late February. And then our first series of short films, I think I don't know where it's at. It's over 100,000 views, and hopefully these 3 will do well too. And our feature film is actually now on 22 streaming platforms, and we're going to work on getting the short films up too. Any final questions from anybody before we call it for the day? Any last comments from any of you, Emma or Maggie? Melissa and I volunteer to be roadies. Excellent. Heather, you and Melissa are always welcome to join us on as our roadies. We need like groupies, clearly. Thank you, Emily. We do appreciate that. Keep on bringing them on. Yes, Joey, agreed. We try to kind of keep posting stuff. And now that the 3 episodes are out, we have more stuff to post. We have some bloopers, and I think there's some more behind the scenes type stuff. A couple of documentaries were made while we were filming, and I think we're going to be posting those soon to YouTube. So there's a lot to share. Oh, here. Sorry, reading questions. Where was that? Oh, Javier, you were asking if we had plans to join any platforms like Netflix, HBO. Those types of streaming platforms, you can't submit to them. It's kind of a by invitation only, or having somebody who distributes at that level. So at this point, no. But we are on Amazon Prime. We're on Deku. We are on Roku. we are on a huge list of streaming platforms, which is great. It's great that they have found it quality enough to pick up for their streaming sites, and hopefully we'll get more. But that type of thing, if it happened, great. If it doesn't, we get to keep doing what we're doing. And the fact that we're even doing these episodes is phenomenal, because it was never in the plans. We always thought it would be the feature film, and then moving on. And the fact that we're still here and making more, and I still get to live in the More Than Only world, is a phenomenal thing. John, I'm really thrilled that you find the movie worthy of watching multiple times. I can't tell you how much that means to me, and that it hasn't gotten boring. So, Joey, I agree with you. I think I've said before, and many probably have heard this, but in the feature film, at one of the first read-throughs of the feature film, I was encouraged to let Justin die during the code scene and the follow-up to that code scene, because they didn't feel like the film wrapped up, and I was told I was wrapping the film in a big bow. And I remembered saying to that person, it's like, I understand what you're saying, and stuff, but I think this is a community that deserves to be wrapped in a bow for a while. And the happy ending is where it was always intended. So I stuck to my guns and wrote the ending and held to the ending that I saw for Justin and Michael. Any other thoughts from you guys?
I just have a side note that just went away. Wait for it. Oh, okay. If there's anybody who had any thoughts or things you want to see on shirts, mugs, things, feel free to send them our way. You can either email or post here, or there's a contact form on the website, but let us know, because we'll be putting together that new stuff in the next week. So if there's something specific you're like, yeah, I want to wear that somewhere on your body, just let us know, and we'll make sure to add that.
Wonderful. All right. We got about 2.5 more minutes, you guys, before our timer is going to run off. Last minute thoughts, questions, anything until the next time our paths shall cross this way. Ending of the movie. John, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the ending of the film. I rather did as well. I was very proud of the ending, and wrapping up Justin's story in that way for him. Tempting a purple ghost orchid t-shirt. Oh, I hadn't really thought about the ghost orchid. That's a throwback. Did you see that, Beth?
You'll have to send more details about that and what it is you envision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we know that ghost orchids are real, purple ghost orchids are not. They are indeed a rare flower that was extinct. I believe they're making a comeback, if I heard that recently from somebody. A luck dragon cup or coffee mug. Yeah. You'll have to explain, if you liked the cover of the book, just the luck dragon itself. Somehow Michael is a luck dragon. So I'm not sure.
Ooh, I could just Photoshop Bjorn's face onto a dragon body.
There you go.
I would try that.
So it just says Michael RN, Luck Dragon, AKA Luck Dragon. If you don't know where the reference of Luck Dragon comes from, go back to the feature film. I'm seeing the delay of your guys' reaction. I'm surely going to have to go back and watch this. I just want to thank you all for creating that very beautiful story. Narman, if that's how you pronounce that, thank you for watching. It means a lot to us. The film and series are plenty of sentences to write on a t-shirt. Yeah, I tend to kind of wane poetic a little bit and over extrapolate occasionally. So yeah, send a sentence if there's one. If you go to our website, again, there's a way to contact us, and you can always email us, message us in different venues. There's lots of ways. The Triwizard Tournament checklist shirt. Oh, interesting. So like defy gravity, something extinct that doesn't exist. And then what was, what
Wonders of the world.
There it is. I was trying to remember. That would be interesting. How interesting, the Triwizard Tournament according to Michael's rules for the Triwizard Tournament. Love Dragon. I never get tired of watching the movie series. Excellent. Okay. Well, we've been on for just over an hour, and I know you all have things you've got to get to as well before our next thing. So any final thoughts, words from any of you guys before we disembark?
I think we all thank you and appreciate everyone that's been here, and just inspires us to do more. Have Michelle write more for us as well.
Yeah, as Jonathan would say, or Justin would say, ditto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think getting to talk with all of you last week at the private premiere and today and hearing your responses, it certainly inspires me to want to keep writing and exploring and give them all the endings that they deserve. So they're fun characters to write for. So it's absolutely thrilling. Is there a way to buy the film? Oh, if I did not say this already, I apologize. Yes, if you go to our website, we have a merchandise page, and on that merchandise page, actually the poster for episodes 4 through 6 has now been finished and is uploaded, I believe. And the DVD for episodes 4 through 6 and Blu-ray is there. Those will be ready to be made in the next week or so, but we are starting to take orders now. So people, and all of those funds do also go towards the next filming session. So absolutely feel free to check out our website. All right. Well, thank you all so very much for joining us. To the cast who was able to come today, thank you so much for joining me. And we will see you all next time. Oh, stop after that. Norman, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you watching and hanging with us. Spread the word, tell people about the short film series, and hopefully keep your eyes on us. I just want to say to everyone, doing a totally awesome job, and I look forward to seeing more of you in the series. So thank you. Emma, Maggie, any final words? Nope. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going to end the session. Can you guys stay online with me for a sec? Take care now. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Say your goodbyes.